Welcome back to Talk 1260 KTRC. You're listening to the Humanity Behind the Vanity. This is Dr. Daniel Ronel. I'm here with my wife, Betsy Ronel, and our friend Jocelyn Jansons. We're having a really great, interesting, and important talk about V-Day and what that means and women's empowerment. And let's continue that.
Absolutely. Well, the exciting thing about what's happening with V-Day right now is they've started the V-Girls movement. What Eve had realized over the past...
Eve Ensler,
the writer, author of Vagina Monologues and the current I'm an Emotional Creature, the New York Times bestseller, is that she realized, traveling the world with Vagina Monologues, that there were so many stories untold, and they were, most of them involved younger girls. And how they were going through their very own personal experiences, whether it was about plastic surgery and being forced to have plastic surgery too young, bullying, not fitting in, genital mutilation in Africa, being stuck in a factory in China, all these issues that affect young girls worldwide. And that's really what she covers in the book. The most incredible thing about V-Girls is that they've created an entire high school curriculum that is connected to the writing work. So you can go into high schools with the material and study one of the monologues, and then do a whole curriculum in your health classes, in your science classes, in your English classes, in your theater classes that connects back to this work. And it's not just for girls, it's for boys as well.
Right.
So it's a really incredible way to empower girls across the nation and around the world to learn about these topics, to own these monologues for themselves, and to also write their own monologues, to start thinking about these issues, how they can help their own communities, how they can help each other. So it's really a very powerful movement, and if anyone's interested in knowing more, you can go to vday.org and learn all about it, and there'll be a link there to the V-Girls website, which if you have teen girls out there, it's an incredible way to get your teens involved.
Yeah, I looked at it.
They can start their own performances, they can go online and blog. It's really a fabulous site, so I really recommend people who are interested in helping teen girls, both in our community here in Santa Fe, but also around the country and around the world, to go to V-Girls.
Isn't there V-Men?
Yes, there's a V-Men's movement has started. Everyone, as we all know, you can't do it just women and girls. You have to end violence by having men and boys involved as well, in ending violence against girls and women. So there's a V-Men's movement. They're going to have, I think it's the 10 parts about being a V-male and what that means. They're doing workshops. And it's actually gaining momentum, so it's kind of exciting to see that happening as well.
So empowering men as well.
Yes, exactly. Because it has to start in the home with the whole family, not just with girls and women.
I think what's interesting, how that relates to plastic surgery, there's two big things that teenagers get. One is rhinoplasty, nose jobs, and one is breast augmentation. And I think it's more accepted for a 16-year-old to get a nose job.
Right.
For their birthday, their sweet 16, they get I don't know.
It's more heard of.
It's more heard of, and I really...
There were a couple girls in my high school back in New York City who had...
Me too.
Yeah, New York was a big city for those, and it's a big psychological change for them, and it's relatively important, especially if they have a very big nose that requires, a big dorsal hump that requires a reduction. I think doing very fine rhinoplasties for little minor things on teenagers is probably a mistake, because they don't quite understand what the implications are and what it means to have complications and having to do revision. But to make a big change for breathing or removing a big dorsal hump, that makes sense. And for some reason in our society, breast augmentation is different. I think...
sexual.
I think it's more an outward projection of somebody's sexual self, right, so to speak, than a nose job, which is more of an internal reflective thing. And I mean, in the United States, you can't get, for example, you can't get silicone implants if you're less than 22 years old. And you're not really an adult until you're 18 or more in many states. You can be an emancipated minor. And I really think it's a mistake to do an aesthetic breast augmentation on somebody who's less than 18. They just don't understand what it means and how there can be complications. Yes, it can help their self-esteem, but that opens a different book.
That should develop internally first.
I agree. I think also too often teens, remembering my teens quite well, teens are really influenced by the media. And what we have right now in the media is a trend towards this sort of, reality television has created this world that people think is, teens could think is real, think of the real world. And I just think those giant breasts and that sort of fake look I think is not necessarily the beauty we want to promote, you know, in our children or in women. And I think that there's so many different forms of beauty. I agree with Betsy. I think inner beauty is number one.
Yeah.
And I think the more girls can feel self-esteem, the more they can feel empowered by their actions, that they're making a difference in the world, that they're making a difference in their lives, that they're helping each other, helping their community, that they won't need to worry so much about what breast size they have, that they can be more
and what
focused.
their peers think about the breast size.
And I think that it's more about being empowered and feeling power as they are. And yes, obviously there's a medical problem with their nose and they can't breathe. Of course they should have that surgery.
Or if they have a congenital breast deformity.
Of course. I mean, I think that, you know,
right?
if there's medical reasons, and I don't judge anybody for that stuff, but I think at the same time, girls should be told they're beautiful because they're beautiful as they are. And that's really, really important from a very, very young age.
Yeah, that's number one.
Yeah.
And this movement will help them discover that for themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so get involved, everybody. You know, it doesn't require financial commitment, does it?
No, you can just do the, there can be a way to put on the play in your own
Okay.
community,
Okay.
Just like with the vagina monologues.
Yeah.
There are ways of getting involved with local organizations that are affiliated. And certainly if people have money to give, there are many, many organizations that are under V-Day's umbrella that need their help, but obviously there are a lot more ways of doing, bringing the curriculum, for example, to a local school is a great way to get involved.
It's excellent.
So it's very, very exciting. We're really thrilled with what's been happening with the whole movement. So I was very grateful to be a part of it as the director of Emotional Creature.
Yeah, and I loved it. And the characters, just to go back to that, I didn't see if Gina was telling us we have to wrap up or not. Okay, the characters, that's fine. The characters that you picked, the girls that came out for it, were all different colors, all different shapes and sizes. I mean, just, they ran the gamut.
We have such a
They were
diverse
awesome.
community here in Santa Fe.
Yes.
And we really are so blessed with diversity, and I think we wanted to represent it on the stage. And,
You did.
and to have girls from not only all over the world, but all over in different economic backgrounds and different schools. We represented every school in town practically, from Santa Fe High to Desert Academy to School for the Deaf to Los Alamos High. And we had girls also from the drug rehabilitation program in Espanola who were involved.
I didn't know that.
And
That's great.
what was fabulous about this environment is that all the girls bonded and all the girls helped each other.
Yeah.
And they really learned from each other. So there was no sense of I'm from here and you're from there. They were a unit. They were having a dance party in the basement of the Lensic in preparation for the show. So for these girls it was about community, and I saw it working in this way through working on Emotional Creature, and it's really inspired me in my own work that I really would like to start a theater organization here in Santa Fe that would do something similar on a regular basis for teens.
Excellent.
And I really think we have the need for it here, and I'm already talking with people about funding and talking with people about getting involved. So if there are people out there who want to be involved with this kind of program, a local community-based theater program for teens, definitely you can contact the Ronels and let me know, because it's just starting up. We're really excited about it.
Good.
What other kind of projects do you have going down the pipeline that you have?
Well, I'm writing, I have 2 children's books that I've written, which I'm very excited about. One is about, it's breastfeeding advocacy, and it's a very exciting little book, so we're going to publishers right now with that.
Awesome.
And then the 2 films, and then I'm writing feature films to hopefully shoot those in New Mexico in the next year. So really my goal is to work and continue to work here in New Mexico in the film industry, and really build film and theater in New Mexico. And,
Great.
So I'm really excited.
That's awesome,
Thank you.
Jocelyn. Thank
Thank
you so
you,
much
Jocelyn
for coming
Jansons.
today.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's
I'm so
our-
thrilled to be here.
It's been our pleasure. And then if you're interested in V-Day, Vagina Monologues, Eve Ensler, supporting girls that you know or don't know, men supporting themselves to get stronger and more independent, and just everybody in general, go to vday.org and you can find out a lot more about it.
And I wanted to remind you that this is March. It's our Vanity for Charity Month. So all the profits from our Botox and fillers are going to one of the local small nonprofit schools. So come on in, get a discount, and the money's going to profits. We'll be back.